Right, we are very fortunate to have Tim Don, 4-time ITU World Champion, 3-time Olympian, and just a general all-round good guy, and a good friend of mine, who this year had a real pivotal season in his life, because last year, unfortunately, Tim had really unfortunate accident 3 days out from Ironman Hawaii. In the shape of your life, fair to say?
Definitely.
But look, you know, in shape to go to race and perform like he'd hoped to do, but unfortunately got hit by a truck. And the accident meant that Tim, long story short, had to wear a halo, which was 4 bolts in the skull.
4 bolts, yeah.
Yeah, and you had that on from October when you had the accident through to January.
Mid-January.
So that 3.5 month period, is that?
3 months and 1 day.
Not counting.
Not counting.
So what we want to talk about today is the fact that once that came off, what did life entail for you?
Well, I thought it was brilliant. You know, literally it's like, oh. But once it came off, I thought I'm ready to go. But the doctor did warn me it would be like my head would be like a bowling ball supported by a piece of spaghetti. And it literally was that. I still had to wear what's called an Aspen collar, which is quite an aggressive like neck brace. For about 6 more weeks as I built up strength in my neck. But also the halo came down to my belly button. And so from my belly button upwards, I could not move. So it's literally, if you can imagine flying economy class in the middle seat for 3 months without moving a muscle. And I'm talking not even to go to the loo, absolutely nothing. And I thought, yeah, once it's off, I'll be ready to go. I'd done some training with the Halo 1. I'd been on the turbo trainer. I'd been in the gym trying to move my lower body, my hips, strengthen my calves. But yeah, I think the realisation sunk in once it came off. So yeah, I wouldn't say life-changing, but it definitely affects every facet of your life. It's not just, I've torn my calf, I can't run, never mind. It had massive implications on my wife and my family. And yeah, no, I was lucky. People like Fraser flew out to see me. My physio, John Dennis from Newcastle, he flew out twice. My sister flew out from Europe. My mum flew out. My mum and my dad flew out then. My in-laws. I think for the 3 months I had the Halo on, we had about 5 or 6 nights where it was just Kelly, myself, and Matilda and Hugo. The rest, there was always someone with us, helping us out. And yeah, we couldn't have survived. My wife especially, my gosh, she's a saint.
But it was a real team effort to get through that period of wearing the halo, obviously.
Yeah.
So then, once the halo came off, as you said, it wasn't all shining lights and rosiness, because you had to rework out how to walk, live and work with your head as its weight, and you coping with it, because the halo had done that for the previous 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, when the halo came off, I literally couldn't turn my head left, right, up and down, and that wasn't because of the break, that was just because I hadn't done it. The muscles had weakened. Not that I'm a big fella, but I'd lost a lot of muscle mass in my chest and my back, and yeah, it was, I literally had to retrain the body how to move in the upper body, because from mid-thoracic up, those joints in your back, which move in every movement, just hadn't moved for 3 months. Literally, it was like a plaster cast from here to here. And it was training brought on a new meaning to me, because it wasn't about increasing your aerobic capacity, your VO2 max, going quicker for less energy. It was about lifting a weight and being able to lift it above my head and going across the body without falling over. And yeah, I mean, when I first got in the water, I had an Aspen collar, which is a very aggressive collar. I had an aqua jogging belt, and I was doing vertical kicking. Yeah. Then I could go to Old English backstroke, kick in and backstroke like this. And then once I got a bit of mobility, a bit of range through physio and soft tissue massage work, I had to use a snorkel. When things aren't going well, they get magnified. For me, I always, when I don't hit certain things, you always think about your best. So I'm thinking about Brazil, I'm thinking about Chattanooga, I'm thinking about the shape I was in before Kona, and then I'm going, I can't run outside, I can only run on the Alto G for 30 seconds, the 30 seconds walk. I can't swim without a snorkel, and I can only manage 400 meters, and I can only ride on a turbo trainer on a road bike, and the bike was, I think, a 56, so it's 2 sizes too big.
Just to give you the reach.
Because I couldn't lean forward. So Yeah.
But that's how you adapted, and you did. So it's like glass half full, let's find a way to make it work.
Absolutely, yeah.
So obviously talking about races, the last race that you hadn't been able to do was the biggest one we can do, which is Kona. But you then seeded a thought with Boston Marathon.
The opportunity came up, and we're athletes. I needed a goal. I don't train for training's sake. I don't train so I look good, so I can, hey, look over. I train to be the best I can be and the best in the world, and I needed those goals.
But we could see Kelly's point of view, because you'd never done a standalone. You'd never done a standalone marathon, and then here you were. It was only January, and Boston's April the.
Early April 11th.
So you didn't have a lot of time.
No, I think I'd run outside for like 3.5 weeks before Boston.
Which, if anybody's done a marathon out there, you definitely want a little bit. No, your standard.
Don't do that at home.
Your standard 16-week plan went out the window.
For me, like the finish line, it was the start line, because I knew if I could reach my goal in Boston and run the time I wanted to, then I knew I would qualify for Kona. Because if I could get through that physically and mentally, then physically I'm moving in the right direction, but regardless of the cold. But that was, for me, was like, I don't want to be, Tim, the guy with the halo, well done, you're on the start line, good on, chap. I want to be, sugar, there's Tim, I've got to race him. And for me, that was a big thing, was getting to that finish line.
And I remember messaging you good luck and saying, what's your goals? And you tentatively said, as long as I go under 3, I'm going to be happy, but anything I'll be. And I believed you, took that at face value. And
did you think I could do it?
Yeah, I downloaded the tracker and I was like, I want to see where Tim's going. And it was a brilliant tracker, by the way. So every sort of 3, 4, 5 miles that they had the points, you could see that Tim was on way under 3-hour marathon pace. And, during the race, you felt good, right?
Yeah, no, I felt good. I think Boston, though, if anyone knows marathons, it's not, you can't do not that I was going to do a world record, but it's not an official world record because it is a net downhill, especially the first half. But yeah, I was always on pace for well under, 250.
So Tim came in at 249.50.
249, I think it was 42, 43.
Right. So he definitely didn't just get under 3, he got under 250.
Yeah. I got third in Chattanooga, the world champ, so I had a lot of points, but I needed to do at least an Ironman and a 70.3 to qualify for Kona. I knew I was up against it time, so there was a window of about 3 races. And Costa Rica, I'll be honest, not many people fly to Costa Rica as a professional. It's quite awkward to get to. So it was going to be a slightly weaker field. Plus it was hot and humid. So it's not about pure speed. It's about racing smart, hydration, preparing correctly. So I really focused on those things, preparing for the heat, working on my pacing, and again, it would be a good indication going through to Kona, if I had a good race in hot and humid. And it was probably the second hottest race I've ever done in my life.
Really? And that's saying you've done some hot races. But, long story short, Tim won the race, brilliant comeback. I mean, you must have been delighted, rightly so.
Disbelief.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, no,
because
seriously.
somebody told you before, it was a small field, but there was still some good athletes there. So Tim takes this win from Olympians who are racing there with him. And as he said, you had good points from previous World 70.3 champs, so that took some pressure off, because you then got good points for winning that half, which then left you with an Ironman, because you have to validate and do another Ironman distance to get back to Kona, which was the whole goal of the season, right?
Yeah. I knew there were, I think, 3 Ironman we were considering. There was Austria, Hamburg, and Mont Tremblant. And I live in America, so Mont Tremblant was the obvious one. But looking at the profiles of the courses, Hamburg definitely suited me the best, because it was a good swim, a fast swim. We'll go on to that in a minute. The bike is very fast, so the more aerodynamic you are, the more efficient you are, the better you are at pacing, the more you have an advantage. So yeah, I settled on Hamburg, and I've raced there before. I've had great races with the ITU. There's 4 million people come out and watch it. It's a good vibe, so we picked Hamburg.
And then they cut the swim.
Then they did cut the swim. And also, getting ready for a 70.3, it's a lot simpler. But leading up to Hamburg, I had to up the volume, because I had to do well. I had to get a top 4. I couldn't just, validate. So.
And Hamburg had a good quality field, and you knew that. So.
Well, now, I mean, it had a podium finisher in Kona who won the race, and I got there in 9th. Yeah.
So obviously that wasn't what you needed, and didn't get that. It's quite complicated, but the points weren't there that you needed for Kona. Yeah. So then you had a decision to make: do I keep pushing for this dream, or it was your goal that you'd very publicly stated you were going to get back to doing?
Don't do that again.
So you had to decide, right? Do I go again? Yeah. Because there's only a certain amount of time. Hamburg was in August. There was only another month where you could do another Ironman before they have a cut-off, and then that's it. You'd have to wait to 2019. So you obviously did. You went for it, but that can't have been easy because you must have been. You're not used to being injured. You've been lucky with your career, haven't you? So you'd had this you'd had this awful period to get through. You'd got back to an Ironman, but you were struggling with an injury.
Yeah, I was always going to try. I'd rather fail than not try at all. So it was Copenhagen was the Ironman I chose. There was more chance of a swim there, which was good. We went 44 minutes, so that was all good. And we came out to swim with 2 other guys. We dropped them in transition. We were gone, and I was like, yes, it's the 2 of us. We're going to hammer the bike. Flat course, especially the first, it's 2 laps. The first 40K is very flat and fast. We got to about 10K, we'd opened up a minute lead on the 2 guys we got out the water with and about 5 minutes on everyone else. He went round a corner, crashed, flatted, and I'm thinking, I'm on my own. I do not have the strength or the willpower to ride on my own. So I'm riding solid, and I rode 3 hours, 38 minutes, totally on my own. And I had a bit of stomach issues, so I'd stopped in a field to relieve myself.
Pro tip.
Yeah, don't do it on the side of the road. Go in the field, climb the fence. I got onto the run, I felt good. I kept on pushing. And I think it was about 8 kilometers into the run, my stomach started to go again. I realised looking back, mind playing tricks, I hadn't taken the nutrition, the hydration I needed to on the bike because I'd had stomach issues. And again, I think it was 26K, I was in about 3rd. I think that this race I needed to finish 7th, and I was in 3rd, and I knew I was going to have to properly start walking. And I was just like, do you know what? I just can't do it. And I said, I stopped at an aid station, and the medics came over and goes, do you want help? And I said, no. And they said, if we help you, then you're out the race. I said, no, I just need, and I just knew my stomach, I was cramping. I looked at my sleeve, and it was just like caked in white salt, which is not, I'm not.
It's never a good sign.
Yeah, it's not a good sign, and it very rarely happens because I'm very good on that.
So all that's obviously going through your mind. You're processing the fact that really that's the Kona dream over.
I'm a planner. I love it. I love planning my training. I know 2019 every race where I'm going to be all the way through, and so kind of like I got home. I looked at races, I said, look, I know I'm in good shape. I just need to sort a few things out. I'm going to do a 70.3 in Shanghai. I'm going to do the one in, I think it was Santa Rosa.
But you were going to get other shorter races locked in.
And I was going to try and make some money. At the end of the day, I'm a professional athlete. I haven't raced much because of for my neck. So I said, and I went to bed and I thought I'll swim tomorrow because I don't feel too bad. I didn't finish the Ironman. If I wake up, I'm going to go for a swim with the squad in Loughborough. So if I don't wake up, I'm going to lay in. Whoa. And I woke up, had a coffee. I was looking at my phone, as you do, Instagram, BBC News, CNN, all the triathlon websites. And I got an email from Ironman saying that someone had, and I was like, no, I'm not doing Kona. I'm focused on this. And it was a bit of I wouldn't say anticlimax, but the way it came about, I was a bit like, oh, did I earn that? Did I?
Well, you didn't get the way you envisaged getting it.
No, and I knew, I said straight from the beginning, if they offer me a charity spot, there is no way I'm taking it. If they'd offered it me the day after I broke my neck for the next year, 100% taking it. But when I've tried and failed, and someone says, oh, look, we're going to give you a handout, that's not my cup of tea. But someone decided not to race, so...
Rules are the rules. So the slot was yours to take, it's just whether you wanted to take it.
Yeah, so I spoke to Kelly and Matt and Julie, and they said, we're 100% behind you, we think we can get you in good shape. And I said, okay, let's do it. So I wanted to finish for them. I wanted to do them justice. Everyone that's supported me, I know it sounds a bit weird, but sponsors are more than sponsors. They don't just pay us to use their products. For me, being in the sport 20 years, they're part of my life on a daily basis, believe it or not. My coaches, people that visited me, I owed it to everyone to finish and do what I could do.
So you got down that finish line in Leahy Drive, and what did you feel like?
Oh, relief.
Yeah.
Like, that I've done it, that I can, to a degree, hopefully put that chapter of my life, not forget about it, but put it behind me. But also, a bit of sadness because what could have been the year before. But then this is it. Next year, it will be different. I will be finishing this with these feelings, but I will be hopefully 30 minutes,
but there was
40
but
minutes
there wasn't
up the
any
road.
part of you crossing the finish line going, that's me done, never again. Because we've all said that.
No, not for that race. There have been races where I've crossed the line. Definitely when I didn't qualify for London Olympics, I thought I was going to walk away from the sport. But no, because I know, and I got honest coaches. They're not, and they believe that I can get back there. So no, when I crossed that line, I knew that if I've done it under those circumstances, God, my preparation can't be any worse, to tell you that.
So that's that, line drawn in the sand. And then 2019's a bit of change, isn't there? So you've got something different. You're going to be working as a guide for para-athletes.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, we moved back. I've been in America with my family. My son's American, but he's got a British passport, don't worry. I moved back from America back to Loughborough. Started training with the Loughborough High Performance Squad for my swimming. Matt Bottrell, my cycling coach, he lives just down 10k away, so I started riding with him, still working with Julie. And someone sent me an email, this guy, saying, hey Tim, I got an email from British Triathlon saying, why don't you apply as a para guide? And I was like, I never got the email, but you know what? I genuinely, independently, I saw the post and I applied for it for myself. So yeah, I got shortlisted and selected, so I will be doing some guiding for Dave.
Do you think you'll be any good at it?
I don't know.
Yeah, we will.
I've been on a tangent. I like to talk, as you can tell, so it's a lot of communication. But no, I love the challenge. For me, I love performance sports. I love being part of the process. And having met Dave 3 or 4 times, he lives around the corner from me. I can see his. And
that's your you're guiding for.
That's it. Yeah, that's the British guy. That's the British athlete in V3 who I'll be guiding for with 2 other athletes. I think he's driven, he's focused. I'm the same, and I think it'll be exciting, and it's challenging for both of us, and for the whole team. It's so the dynamics are so different, and I think I can offer a lot, and I'm really excited.
And is there something about that? I mean, the way I see it from the outside looking in is, you went to your first Olympics at Sydney. That's going to be 19 years ago. There's there's back to ITU. I know it's slightly different. It's the para racing, but it's still in the ITU fold, and there's that carrot of an Olympic Games at the end, Paralympic Games. So that kind of full circle is kind of cool, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I know it's different.
No, it's different, but it's no less challenging. And I think the standard has been raised. The times are coming down. The competition. It's not a foregone conclusion to make the Olympic Games as a para athlete. Let alone podium or top 10.
There's also a real element of all of what you know about the sport that you can pass on, right?
Absolutely. I mean, not many people get to go to, multiple Olympic Games, multiple World Championships, and that kind of that experience. And being 40, I've kind of been there, done that, but I still believe I can add value, but I can be competitive. I can still.
And that's going to be able to dovetail into an existing 70.3 in Ironman program with you still aiming to go back for Kona, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to do an early season Ironman in 2019, then hopefully do a couple of sprint distance races, with Dave, a few 70.3s as well, and then, hopefully once the selection process is done, then I'll do Kona, and then, who knows what's going to happen in 2020, but, for me, I got 2 goals, is to redemption in Kona, and let's qualify Dave, to get him in the best shape possible with the best tools for him to win a medal. And if I'm going to be part of that in 2020, then that I'm definitely going to be a part of it. But I've got big belief in him.
Tim's been so good to hear about everything that's gone on since having the halo come off. And everybody here is just looking forward to seeing you get back there, and excited to see what's going to happen. Thanks so much. It's been brilliant.
Hey, no, cool. It's always a pleasure, mate. Cheers. Thanks, bros.